welcome back to the weird part of YouTube, aka my channel. So here we are reviewing Indian Matchmaking Season 2, the show that nobody asked for a Season 2, but here we are. So the last time I did it, it was 2 years ago, and when Season 1 dropped, I was so appalled and angry when I saw that whole season, and I had to make a video on it, and it's still by far the most watched video on my channel with 16,000 views. Not bragging, but kind of proud that it did well. So here we are. Is that the reason I'm doing it again? Probably, possibly, I'm not sure, but you be the judge. This time around, 2 years later, they kind of build off from Season 1. Obviously not with all of them. Season 1, obviously they had about 8 people around, or 8 or 6, I don't really remember. None of them had a match at the end of the day or at the end of the season, so they build off like the most I think talked about contestants of the show. For example, Aparna, Nadia, as well as Pradyuman. So these 3 people were like sort of the most talked about in the season. There were other people too, but there was no mention about them in the season. And there were a lot of new people as well. And the general outtake of this season was that I was less angry. I think they really worked on cutting the cringe up, and not some gotcha moments or none of those pitfally moments that Season 1 was famous for, like how dare they do this, or are they doing it just for the gags, or I don't know, like stuff were very hard to believe that it's still happening in this day and age. So this time around, I think they really worked on it. I think the producers of Netflix were well aware, but going off just on the type of people from Season 1, Aparna really needs to get off her high horse, and just like, I don't know what she thinks of herself. I get that she's a busy person. She moved from Houston to New York. She's like looking around, but I don't know what she really wants at the end of the day. She believes in astrology. She believes in getting the connections and stuff like that. But she kind of yawns. She did yawn twice at a date. The last time around in Season 1, she's like, don't talk to this guy, don't talk to the waiter, focus on me, and all that stuff. I'm not sure if she's like that in person, or they just make sure that they edit for like those juicy moments. So I don't really know what she is like IRL. From the last time around, she really kind of bitched about Sima auntie, for who's the matchmaker of the show, and so this time she's like, I'm a matchmaker myself. This is what I do in the process if a date doesn't go well in the date itself, and she kind of might be intimidating. I'm not too sure, but at least yawning or not putting in the same amount of effort when you see the guy is not that great, and she's like, this is me, this is who I guess, and she's like, I love traveling, I haven't met him in 6 weeks at this pace, we might get into this whole thing in 2 years. So I don't really know what she wants, but she has a lot of attitude is what I want to say. Not much different from Season 1. I thought there might be some sort of a character arc, but I realized this isn't a show. Obviously there are many scripted moments, but at the end of the day, they're real people. So I felt like she really needs to get off a high horse. She has a lot of attitude. She needs to get stuff worked around. But I guess she might be a friendly person in IRL, I think Netflix is very known to make all these edits in a way that that might make people hate them. Nadia, again, who was a sweetheart last season, she just wanted to get down, get into this whole marriage thing, just get it sealed, get into a relationship. But I kind of felt karma coming at her, because she kind of dumped this other guy in favor of another younger person who's 7 years younger. And I think the most juicy moment of this whole season would be this lady, the matchmaker, Sima, saying that Nick Jonas and Priyanka are not meant for each other. They don't look good together, whatever. So I felt like, whoa, like what the hell? So those were some of the juicy moments, which are like kind of cash grabby moments of the season, so that people would talk about, obviously. So I'm not sure if it's scripted, but I hate to disagree with that. But so she just ends up getting dumped by this guy, which is like, again, karma coming at her. because she dumped the shaker guy for this guy, and then he dumps her back. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crying moments and stuff like that, but I really felt bad for her at the end. But you know, I was like, you know, should I really feel bad for her and all that stuff. So there were a lot of new couples as well. Some of them they do develop into this story, like they go, this guy goes to a face reader, he has a chicken industry, he's like, you know, people don't want to move to a more suburban area from big cities. I think they might disvalue the fact that women also have jobs and they also want to be in a big city for career opportunities, or in general more opportunities. Not everyone is interested to move to the suburbs to just live off, you know, the business and stuff. So I don't think they take care of those points and aspects. But overall, I felt like this season, however, they really worked on the cringe moments and stuff like that. There weren't any, you know, regressive stuff. One thing I do want to say is that Sima auntie hasn't changed that much in terms of attitude. The last season, however, it was more on adjust, compromise. The same words are thrown around, but in a different fashion. She does mention that you're not going to get 100%. You have to just aim for 60%, 70%. I know most of the criterias are crazy, to be very honest, but I know people want what they want, but at the end of the day, you do need to realize what makes sense, what doesn't. But just telling your clients that you're superficial, hence you're not getting anything, or stop dating around, stop, you know, you gotta be serious. People are serious, that's the reason they're finding a matchmaker. But I don't know, that's just me. But overall, I think the season was a little calmer, less cringe. And I didn't hate as much, I guess. But would I watch it? I guess, I mean, if you want to see what happens to the couples and stuff. But overall, it didn't have the entertainment value of season 1. It was a little slow. There was just one couple that actually got married, of Sima's biodata swapping and all that stuff. Most of the people or the couples in the show, unfortunately or unfortunately, don't really get off the biodata thing. I think they get matched organically or through acquaintances and stuff like that. For example, there's this lady called I forgot her name, sorry about that. So there are a couple of people who got matched, like I believe it's Sheetal, who got matched from her sister's acquaintances or group of friends. There's another person who got matched of their group of friends. So no one really is getting their, you know, friends from her biodata, which he, you know, goes around saying that, hey, I'm famous for this. So what exactly is she doing, what exactly she's bringing to the table, I have no idea. But honestly, it's a fun show to watch. If you want to hate watch, I think this is like the number one thing. But they've cut back a lot of cringe, but there are still moments where she does make sense. There are moments where she's super regressive. There are moments where she's like, you know, people have unrealistic expectations and all that stuff. One thing I do want to mention is that last time around the season, they focused more on you know, the India matches as well as the US, so it was like balanced, like it was 50-50, I would say. This time around, almost all of the couples were in US except for one person who is in Nashik, which is in India. So there's just one person, and you know, there were a lot of gotcha values, like meme-worthy moments. Like for example, like there's a face reader and he's like, you know, this person has been cursed and all that stuff. I'm like, how do you get that off a face? Like, I don't believe you. Maybe that was all scripted. But yeah, overall, I didn't hate the season as much. It's okay-ish at the end of the day. Like the season overall, it's all 8 episodes, half an hour each, so you know, it just gets your job done, I guess. Overall, there have been a lot of couples in this episode, or people they've introduced, and they haven't really gone about it. I think they just want people to like watch this more and get ready for season 3 where they build off that. But overall, there were a lot of couples like Ashneer, who's a doctor in Cleveland. He's meeting a lot of people. I think he's a real sweetheart this season. And there's a couple of other people too. I really like Akshay from Nashik, but I felt like during his date he really cut the person off. Again, this might be Netflix editing power, where they want to just get the juicy moment over there. So the reason I say is that because last time around they really said that, we didn't really say all that stuff, but Netflix made us look bad. So I'm just gonna give the benefit of doubt for these people. But they just cut them across. So I just, like, for example, the episode really focused on Aparna and Nadia, the first 2 episodes, and then kind of left them away, and then it became these other 2 couples, and then at the end of the episode they were done. Then it became another couple, and then follow them throughout. I don't think criterias are a bad thing. I think it's great to know what you want in a relationship or what you want at the end of the marriage, but making them seem bad or foolish or childish doesn't really get you your point across. I think people are well aware what they need to what are certain deal breakers, what are not. So I think people are well aware, but obviously you want to find the right match for yourself. You want to share the life with this person. So I don't really get why things are like played around or just for gags. But yeah, overall I didn't hate the season as much as I did the first season. I do think that they really need to get rid of the word adjust and compromise. Obviously it does involve all that stuff, but just because you're a girl or a guy, you shouldn't like really let go a lot of things, but some of them do have unrealistic expectations and stuff like that. They want like their first flirtatious experience in the first date, which is kind of unrealistic unless you go on many dates. But yeah, overall I think the season I didn't hate it as much, let me put this way. So would I recommend you guys to watch it? Sure. I mean, if you want to watch, if you have watched season 1 already and want to know what's up with these 2 couples or other couples, that's great. Overall, I think the people from season 1, there are 3 people. Pradyuman obviously gets married in this season. Again, he doesn't need anyone from Sima's recommendation. He met someone organically, and I think that was really nice to get them closure and all that stuff. They do come feature in a couple of episodes on giving advice for marriage and all that stuff. So I think that was great. But not everyone. I think a lot of people were traumatized by season 1, wherein the couples, maybe they were hesitant to go back again. But yeah, so honestly, I didn't hate it as much. So if you want to watch it, great. If you don't, you're not missing all that much. So see you later in another episode of me ranting about random things. So see you later. Hopefully you guys subscribe. And that is all, y'all. See you later in another video. Bye. One thing I forgot to mention is that when Pradyuman is proposing, he already puts the ring on the girl and like already, and then he says, will you marry me? I think that's really funny because you're supposed to ask the question and then put the ring. So I just found that really, really funny. That's just my opinion. So yeah.